What's going on, Salsa Ninjas? Welcome back. In this video, I want to talk to the beginners who are out there, who are terrified of the dance floor, who are scared to get out there, or for beginners who are taking lessons. They're learning the moves, yet they're still struggling to get out on the dance floor. They're afraid. Maybe they become intimidated. So I got advice for both of you. Listen up. Let's start with the beginners with two left feet. They feel like they're hopeless. They feel like they're never gonna learn and be able to get out on the dance floor. So let me tell you a little backstory. I'm Latin and I didn't know how to dance growing up. I used to be embarrassed. A lot of people thought that just because I'm Latin, I should be an amazing dancer, and I wasn't. My grandma tried to teach me when I was very little. She showed me a couple of steps. She tried to get me to feel the music. She would play music and she would try and dance with me and say like, okay, feel the music, move your hips, shake your shoulders. And you know, I'm a very logical person. I need to know what I'm doing, and I was just embarrassed and I couldn't get it, and I felt like I had two left feet and I thought dancing was silly and I didn't want to do it, and I had a bad attitude about it. On top of that, I wasn't learning. I felt like it was my fault. So, you know, if you're in that position, if somebody tried teaching you before and you're still not getting it, just know there's still hope. Just keep listening. So my grandma tried to teach me. I couldn't get it. Eventually, later on, many years later in high school, I would go to these quinces, which are parties for 15-year-old kids. There were these two kids who were amazing dancers. Whenever they would play salsa music, girls would line up to dance with these kids. And one time, me just watching them and thinking to myself, man, I gotta learn to dance. Like, I wanna be able to do that and have girls lining up to dance with me. You know, one of the kids saw me looking at him, and it was me and a bunch of kids. We were looking at this kid, like, just thinking we were wishing we were him. And the kid comes up to us and he's like, hey, you guys wanna learn the basics? I'll teach you guys. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna learn the formula. And so kid comes up to us, he starts going over a couple of steps, and I remember just like him doing the steps, and I just couldn't get it. And again, I thought I had two left feet, and I felt hopeless. I'm like, okay, the gift of dance is not mine. I feel like I'm gonna have two left feet forever. And on top of that, I'm extremely logical, and I feel like a robot when I'm dancing, when he was trying to show me, and I just couldn't get it. And so anyway, that was my experience. Whenever I would go to parties, I would be terrified. I remember there were girls back in those days in high school when we would go to parties. I had a couple of friends that would come to me and ask me to dance, and every time that would happen, I would cross my fingers and I'm like, I hope they don't ask me. I hope they don't ask me, because I just didn't know what I was doing, and I was afraid. I was embarrassed. I didn't want anybody to see that I had two left feet. So just so you know, if you're in that position where you're going out there and you're stuck and you're on the dance floor and you're watching everybody have fun and you're sitting there and you're nervous, you're like, okay, should I go out there? Should I not? Am I gonna make a fool of myself? And it doesn't feel good, you know? So here's what I did. A couple of years later after that, you know, I finally decided to face my fears. For a month, I kept on thinking, should I go to salsa class? Should I go to a salsa class? And I had this vision in my mind. I'm like, I'm going to go to a place and there's going to be this amazing dancers at the dance school. And I'm just going to be the loser there that has two left feet, that doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm going to make a fool of myself. I'm probably going to step all over somebody. And to get over that, I said to myself, look, what's the worst thing that could happen? If I do end up going, and I step all over somebody's feet, nobody's gonna know me there. I'll just never be back, and that's it. And I'll accept the fact that I have two left feet. So I actually end up going, and I start taking lessons, and lo and behold, like, I started getting better. The trick was, I found an instructor. This is the key, guys. You have to find an instructor who's able to break things down, make it simple. You know, all the time before that I tried to learn, it was people trying to teach me who were really good dancers, but they weren't really good teachers. And there's a difference. There are people who could do, when you see them, they're amazing dancers, but when they try to explain it, it comes so natural to them that they just don't know how to break things down and make it simple for somebody who has 2 left feet, who doesn't have any dance experience. And so it's hard for them to put themselves in the position of a beginner. So you got to find the right instructor. That's the way to go. And so that's what happened to me. When I went to the salsa classes, I found this guy who was able to break things down, make things simple, baby step me through the process of learning. He would take moves that were really complicated and show me step by step what to do. And he had a lot of patience, and he was willing to work with the beginners and make things simple for them enough so that they could start to learn it. And that's what happened to me. Little by little, I started to learn. I started to apply the formula, being very logical. I need to know the steps. I need to know the formula. I need to be able to see it in my mind. And then that's what he was doing. He gave me a formula. I was able to follow it, and little by little, I started to improve. Eventually, after like a month, somebody from the class, if not the instructor himself, invited us to go to a salsa party. And, again, I was terrified because even though, yes, I have been learning, I had all these experiences in the past of me being afraid of the dance floor. And on top of that, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm good enough. I learned a couple of moves, but I don't know if I'm ready to go out there. And that's what happened. I went out there, and the first thing is like you walk into this salsa party and you see a crowd of people that are amazing, and you start to feel intimidated. Now, right now, I'm talking to you guys that are also beginners who've learned, and now you feel stuck because you can't get out there and you're feeling overwhelmed. So I'm going to give you guys advice as well. So I go into the party. Everybody's amazing, and I just sit down and start to take it all in. Everybody's an amazing dancer, but little by little, I start to see like everybody's dancing with everybody, and yes, while everybody looked amazing, there were just a couple of people there that were like beginners, and like they were still going out there to dance. And I thought like, okay, if they could do it, I could also do it too. And I started looking around the room. I actually found 2 girls who had taken lessons at the same dance school that I had gone to, and they were just a level above me, but they had seen me taking the beginner classes. And I went up to them and I said, hey, I see everybody's dancing here. Do you want to practice? But keep in mind, I'm a complete beginner. And they're like, yeah, it's okay. Let's do it. Of course, we want to dance. And so we went out on the dance floor, and all I knew was just a couple of moves. And within like 20 seconds of the song starting, I ran out of moves. Like I didn't know what to do. I'm like, okay. I started to panic. And I mean, just as an aside note, the girl had to tell me like, look, you don't need to be nervous, because my hands were shaking so badly. Anyway, so I was there. I started to do my little moves. I ran out of moves, and I told the girl, I stopped the dance, and I said, look, that's it. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I guess it's over because I don't have any more moves. And I was so afraid that I was gonna make her bored, or I was gonna make a fool of myself. I don't want her to have a bad time, so I'm like, all right, it's over. And she said, no, don't worry about it. Like, if all you know is 6 moves, just keep on practicing that and get better at that. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, just do it. Anyway, and so I danced that song, and at the end of the song, I'm like, oh, cool, I practiced my 6 moves. And then after that, I went and I did that over and over again with 6 different people. And at the end of the night, I had danced with 6 different people, and I felt like a champion, I'm like, oh, I remember it was like I felt like I went back in time and I conquered something that had been like followed, like this monster that had been following me my whole life. I felt like I had 2 left feet and I could never do it. And at that moment, I felt like, you know what, this is possible. I just danced with 6 people. This is amazing. So I kept on going back to class, and I kept on learning more, and little by little, it started to improve more, and it was awesome. So that's the way I did it, But now, I know a lot of people are like, okay, yeah, but you saw those 2 girls. But here's the thing. When you go to a party And now I'm talking to you guys that have learned, but you still getting stuck on the dance floor. When you go to a party, there's everybody there wants to dance. Everybody is there to practice. And so if you look at everybody who's dancing, you look at the tables, there's always going to be people sitting down. And everybody's at a dance party because they want to dance. And so at the beginning, you might think like, oh, nobody would want to dance with me. But there are some people there that are not getting asked to dance and they want to dance. And what you could do is, and this is advice for the men here, is you could ask the women that are not getting asked to dance, because that'll give you that, like, they'll be happy to dance with you because they're not getting asked to dance. And also you got to tell them like, hey, look, I'm a beginner and I want to practice. And everybody at a salsa party started somewhere. They started as a beginner, so they know what it's like to be a beginner. And everybody's happy to dance with you and give you a couple of pointers and a couple of tips. Just so you know, like, nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to make fun of you. And the way to do it is like, find the people, find maybe the women that are sitting down there, that have been sitting down for 3-4 songs, that are not getting asked to dance, and go and ask them to dance. And those are the people that you don't need that much confidence to ask, because you know they want to dance. And just tell them like, hey, I'm a beginner and I want to practice, just like that. And then you'll see what happens. And then for the beginners who are completely new, like, same thing. Find the people, like, learn a couple of moves. You don't need to know a million moves. All you need to know, I came out there to the first party with 6 moves, and that was it. All you gotta do is like repeat the same moves over and over. As a man, our main fear is you're gonna feel like you're gonna get rejected. First of all, if you're nice and you tell them like, I'm a beginner and I want to practice, nobody's gonna reject you. Second thing is, if you feel like you don't know that many moves, it doesn't matter, because at the beginning, when you tell somebody you're completely new, all you're gonna do is you're practicing the same moves over and over that you know. And the fact that you're practicing those only, that's gonna make you better, and that's gonna make you perfect those moves. That way, when you learn the next moves, you're ready, like, you know, you got experience under your belt. So another thing for the women, like, how do you get better? So when you go to a party, you'll see like the women that get asked to dance the most are standing in front of the dance floor, are sitting or standing in front of the dance floor, making yourself available and saying yes to everybody at the beginning. You got to dance with everybody, because that'll give you the most experience, and you'll be able to learn the cues. Every man needs a little bit different than the other, and so you'll be able to adapt yourself. As a woman, you're learning to follow, so you got to be able to adapt to every man that is dancing with you, and the way to do it is to dance with more men. And so that'll give you the confidence to be able to say like, okay, I was able to do this moves with this guy, and this other moves with this guy, and little by little you start to learn and get better at following. Now, inevitably you will mess up, and just know that is okay. Man, understand, like, if you're a beginner, you're gonna mess up, and the dance is not gonna be perfect, so don't worry about it. Just keep practicing. Everybody starts out as a beginner. If you don't get it perfect, don't worry about it. Just keep practicing, and you eventually get better and get better and get better, and you have less mess ups. And mess ups still happen, even to me, even to the best dancers, but it'll get less often, and you don't even care if they happen at some point. And so you'll be okay. Okay, guys. So just know, if you have 2 left feet and if you're struggling learning how to dance, find yourself a good teacher who's able to break things down very simple. And if you are a beginner who's trying to get out on the dance floor and you feel stuck, you feel overwhelmed, find yourself a method that is simple, easy for you to remember. Have a plan when you get out on the dance floor, and then find the people who are not getting asked to dance and ask them. That is the way to build up your confidence at the beginning. For the women, stand in front of the dance floor and then say yes to everybody who asks you to dance at the beginning. And then you guys will get better with time, okay? Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. If you want to learn more, if you want to get more salsa tips, subscribe here to this channel here at salsaninja.com, and then leave this video a thumbs up. Share with your friends if you found any value in it. Anybody who you think is a beginner and needs to learn to dance or is afraid, send them over this way. If you have any questions, or if you want any questions answered in more videos, leave me a comment down below, and see you guys soon. Okay, guys? Thank you so much. Bye.